So spring is getting ready to have been sprung here in Spring, Texas. It is the first week of March, and our last frost in this zone 9, 8, or B, depending on which website you're looking at, um, is middle of March. So we need to take our seedlings that we've been taking care of. You saw me thinning out some of them a little bit earlier. Some of those I'll give away to friends. You could sell them at a farmer's market. I'm not set up to do that, but you could do that. And then some are going to be hard enough to go into the garden. Some things I don't thin, like the lettuce and stuff, because as I plant them outdoors, I will be thinning them as I spread them out, and you really don't even need to sprout lettuce. I just like doing it because we have really bad slug problems here, and they seem to demolish the lettuce when it's really, really tiny, so I like to give it kind of a head start indoors. So some of these things are a little bit more frost tender, like the broccoli and the lettuce and everything, the kale, the arugula. If they got a little bit of frost on them, they're not going to die, so they could go out to the garden right now, but I need to harden them off. Hardening them off is when baby plants are used to living indoors and you put them outdoors. It can be a bit shocking to them. The sun's much more intense. The rain, the wind. I actually do put a small fan on my seedlings just so that they can build some strength in their stems, so when a big wind comes, it doesn't just crack them in half. I've also moved them around, thinned them out a little bit, put a little bit more soil on them, put a little bit of fertilizer on them, and every day I'm going to bring them outside for a couple of hours, and I'm going to bring them outside for a couple more hours every day for a week or 2 weeks until I'm ready to put them out. Then they will be hardened off. Some other things that we need to do to prepare is today I'm going to go through and I'm going to weed. I really don't have that many because we put straw on at the end of the winter, and that has prevented a lot of weeds from growing, but they're starting to pop up now because it's almost, it's almost springtime here. So I'm going to go through and pull those. Also, either this weekend or next weekend, I will be putting at least, an inch of matured compost on top of the each one of the beds, just on top of the straw. I do a no dig method, so I just add things to the top. I don't dig or incorporate or anything together. And then also making sure that you have all of your natural organic pest supplies. So the major problems that we have here is we have slugs, and the thing that I use to combat that is Sluggo. It's actually, OMRI listed, which means it's okay for organic gardening. It's by Monterey. I don't know if anyone else does it. This is Sluggo Plus, so it takes care of earwigs, cutworms, sow bugs, pill bugs, slugs, and snails. Just the regular one takes care of slugs and snails. The slugs and snails, as I mentioned before, if there is a seedling in the ground, they will just cut it right off. Well, and I guess the cutworms do that too. They'll just cut it right off, especially cucumbers. The slugs really love my cucumbers, and they'll just bite little holes all in it until it just kills the whole plant. So we want to make sure we put this down whenever we put these out. Monterey BT. This is also OMRI listed, so it's okay for organic gardens. It controls worms and caterpillars on fruits, vegetables, ornamentals, and shade trees. So I get a lot of worms and caterpillars on things like the broccoli, the brassicas, the broccoli, the cauliflower. I get them a lot on like cabbages and stuff, and I basically just have to like drown my plants in this. Now I do have a sprayer attachment where I can mix my own, but I accidentally bought this one that has the sprayer attachment, but that's nice. You just hook it to your water hose and then it's good to go. The other thing that you need to have is you need to have some, I forget what this is called. They're just calling it dust, but it's diatomaceous earth. That's what it's called. Diatomaceous earth is a great thing to have on a farm. You can use it for all kinds of things. It will get rid of fleas. It gets rid of mites, nits, those kind of things. But this one kills bagworms, borers, beetles, caterpillars, moths, loopers, miners, thrips, and other listed pets. So this is a powder, and you just kind of like squirt the powder on it, and it will take care of like like flea beetles and stuff, things that will leave little pinholes in all of your like green beans especially. So that's what I'm going to do. Take you around with me today. We're going to leave these out here. Made sure I had all of this stuff. I have a full thing of this. This is brand new. These last forever. I mean, I think this is like 3/4 of the way full. Plus I have a whole nother bag of just the dyed tomaceous earth in my gardening closet as well. And we're just going to go through today and we're going to weed so that when we throw that compost on later on this weekend or next week, that we're not feeding weeds. And make sure these are watered really well and leave them out for a couple of hours. Some other things to consider whenever you're getting ready for spring gardening season is what condition are your tools in? I mean, you probably haven't looked at them since, I don't know, November, December at the latest. I mean, I have some from years and years ago that they're just not going to do it. They were too fancy. I don't even know. This is probably for pruning like proper shears, but I still keep it. And then this one, which I really like, which is more nimble, it's a little bit sharper. I just went and washed this one because it's real rusty, even though I keep it in the shed because Texas and humidity. So I cleaned it, I oiled it up, and then I actually went in and you can tell I sharpened it just a little bit too, so it's not as dull. Some of the other things too is like, what do your pathways and your walkways look like? Obviously this pathway in this little keyhole garden, it's showing the black tarp that we put down underneath here. Probably what I'll do is I'll weed this a little bit and then I will just throw some hay in here, but you could also put wood chips or gravel or whatever you need in order to make it work for you. The other thing you can be doing while you're in here weeding is trimming back things that are growing back. I have this lovely parsley. I planted it several years ago and it keeps on growing back. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It doesn't need to be trimmed as much because it loves this cold weather, but my lemon balm that's right next to it does. It's just all sticks right now. So I'm going to go in here and pull out any of the dead material so that the green living material has room to grow.